Ready?
Yep.
We're live here for you guys again. I'm AJ.
And this is Diana.
And again, here we are at the Mentor Monday live stream. And can you believe that it is the 5th week of the semester already? I don't know, like, to me, I felt like January went by, like, super slow, like, it was just dragging out. But I have this theory that February is going to go by super fast because, I mean, it's shorter, there's only 28 days, and I don't know, it feels like so much is already happening. And we're already on the 5th of the month.
Yeah, dang. No, yeah, January definitely, like, dragged on, but now that it's over, I'm like, where did it go?
Where did it go? Yeah, I know. But February's crazy, especially because, like, midterms are going to be happening.
Oh, yeah.
So this kind of, like, leads into what we're going to talk about today. It's your favorite, stress management. So I know we've done, like, several videos on stress management already in our, like, history of all the seasons we've been doing, but that's because it's that important. Like, stress management, it's not something you can do once and then just have it, like, your problem solved, it's gone now.
Yeah, no.
It's something that you need to constantly be working on, especially on, like, a semester by semester basis, because your classes change, your professors change, the requirements change, so
like even
stress
like your
levels are changing.
Even like your home life is changing. I mean, last semester you maybe have been living at home, now you're living on your own, so
maybe you have new roommates.
Or, you know, tax season is coming up.
Yes, tax season. Do your taxes, guys. So there's a lot to be stressed out in February, and the fact that we said, like, it's going to go by super quick just adds to that, because it feels like there's a time constraint on everything that you're doing.
And there's only 28 days, so...
Only 28 days, yeah. So if you're, like, worried that you're the only one stressed, like, let's just lay it down right now. Nobody is immune to stress.
Nope.
I'm stressed right now.
It's just in a constant state of stress.
Constant state of stress. I am stressed. It's just a part of everyday life that we all have to, like, work out a system for us to management. And if you're wondering what exactly is stress, it's when your tension level exceeds your energy level. So here's how much energy I have to do things, here's how tense I am, like, managing all of that. So the resulting feeling is like something of being, like, overwhelmed. You're overloaded with things that you have to do. That's what stress is.
And so, like, stress kind of manifests itself very differently in all sorts of different people. Sometimes some people will just, like, kind of stop doing everything because it's too stressful to do anything. And like we said, the tensions level exceeds your energy level, so you just feel like you're out of energy. Other people, like, don't do anything because they don't know where to start. So there's all sorts of different ways to, you know, show your stress or to feel stressed. So don't think that just, oh, Google said that stress was this, and I'm not feeling that, so I'm not stressed out. It doesn't necessarily mean it. You could be stressed out even if, like, you're not fitting the criteria for stressed out.
Yeah. Speaking of self-diagnosing, we're going to give some of, like, the telltale signs of, like, you are stressed, but like Diana said, like, everybody experiences this and it manifests itself in different ways, so maybe you match, like, what we're going to say perfectly, maybe none of those apply to you. But you're going to know if you're stressed. Like, you can feel it and you're going to know. But some of the common things that people see is they have a difficulty concentrating. There's just so much going on in their head that they can't focus on one thing, or they're focusing on too many things and nothing gets done.
Trouble completing assignments on time. So like we said, you're just too stressed to even start the assignment or get it done. I've had that case where I'll, like, look at the assignment, it's halfway done. I'm like, oh, I just have another hour. Or I don't do it.
Right?
So,
what if I pause right here and then don't come back to it? Basically, another thing people see is changes in sleeping and eating habits. I can't even talk. So changing your sleeping pattern. Maybe you're up all night trying to get something done, or you're just so overwhelmed that you fall asleep at 7:30 at night and wake up at 9 o'clock the next morning because your body is just mentally and physically exhausted by everything you have to do. And then for eating habits, you're so busy that you forget to eat. That's happened to me before, where, like, I have breakfast at like 8 in the morning, and then it's 8 o'clock at night, and I'm like, oh no, like, I didn't eat anything. Or it's the opposite, where you're like, oh man, like, I'm just gonna be studying all day, and you're constantly snacking, and before you know it, you've gone through, like, the giant family-sized bag of potato chips. It happens. It happens.
Or, like, for me, I get so worried that my stomach starts to hurt, and I just don't feel like eating.
You even feel, like, nauseous or something.
Yeah. But remember, mental health and physical health is also all really important.
Yeah.
And so
they're all tied in together.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other. Another is tightening muscles. So sometimes people, like, kind of feel like, you know, too overwhelmed to even move or something.
Yeah, or like I know that with me, like I start to like my shoulders just come up. It's like whenever like in movies somebody walks up behind someone and they like start rubbing their shoulders, they're like, wow, you're really tense, and they're like, yeah, I had a hard day at work. Like that's a real thing. Like you can be so stressed out that your body just kind of tightens itself because you're just so concentrated on what you're doing, and next thing you know you have like a stiff neck, or you're really cranky because you can't really like move around, your back hurts.
Short temper or increased agitation. So you can see that especially from drivers. Sometimes when you have a stressful day, you get more aggressive in your driving and whatnot. Or, you know, sometimes we've all seen that one occasional student that kind of like throws a fit.
Yeah, you throw a little temper tantrum. Yeah.
But that's just stress manifesting itself in like all sorts of various ways.
Yeah, and then like the peak of it all is just increased worrying about everything. So you could be worried about like, oh man, I have this test, and you're just so focused on it and it's the only thing on your mind. Or like the opposite, which often happens to me, is you start worrying about everything else but that. So yeah, you have like this major test that you're worried about, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I haven't done laundry in 2 weeks and I need to do that right now before I study for my test. So you're just worrying about like anything, or even things that like aren't even there, and you're like, oh my god, like is my hair messed up? And like your hair looks like totally fine and nobody even cares. You should be studying for your test.
No, I had that 2 weekends ago. I was like, I haven't done this art or finished this art project in 3 years. I need to do it right now.
Yeah, now is the time for me to be working on this.
Instead of doing homework or labs or whatever.
Yeah, so maybe like some of these things apply to you, maybe none of them apply to you. Like we said, it's a big range of emotions that you're feeling. Stress is messy. But it's there, and it's something we need to talk about. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to go straight into it now that you kind of know what stress is and if you're feeling it. So the number one thing that we've said time and again is time management. Time management is like, you just need it.
It helps a lot with stress, because if you see what your week ahead looks like, you can start to plan how to approach it, rather than, you know, starting the day and kind of going, oh no, I also have this meeting and this assignment due, and I have to be at class here and there and all of that stuff. Then you can start feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, and of course, you know, like we said, you start worrying about other stuff, or you get so stressed out that you decide to not do anything. But procrastination, it's a catch-22. Procrastination just increases your stress. And even when you're procrastinating, you can't even enjoy the procrastinating because you know you're supposed to be doing something.
You feel guilty.
Yeah, it's like that thing where it's like, oh, I have a homework assignment due at midnight, and you're like, I'm gonna watch Netflix until 8 o'clock, and then you can't even enjoy the Netflix that you're watching because you know that when it's over, you're going to have to do the homework, and you don't even know if that's enough time left to do the assignment. So procrastination, like, at this point, why do it? Like, you're just adding to your stress that you already have. It's best just to do things, get them done, get them out of the way, and then you can, like, have some sort of, like, internal peace with yourself because you did what you were supposed to do.
Yep. Getting enough sleep definitely helps. I know that, like, at 3 in the morning, if I haven't slept all day, that's when my, you know, stress levels start to peak.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, oh no, I have to go to bed soon, but I still have this, and this to do.
Yeah, that's
just sleep.
That's especially where like the short temper and agitation comes into play. Like, because if you don't, like, just on a good day, even if you go to sleep at like 4 in the morning and then you wake up at 8, you're gonna be so cranky the next day, and then like, you know, somebody's gonna bump into you in the hallway, and it's just gonna be the worst thing that's ever happened to you in your life. So just avoid that drama and go to bed. Like Diana said earlier, like your mental health, your physical health, like it's all tied into each other. So if you're not well rested, you're not even going to do well on your tests.
Yeah, and that kind of moves into our next one, you know, eating well. I mean, if you're eating badly, you're going to feel badly. You know, like, I don't know, I feel a lot better when I eat fruits and vegetables.
Oh, yeah.
And so that tends to help also my mental state. And so definitely eat well, because, again, physical health helps with your mental health. The mental health helps with your physical.
As good as that bad food looks, just know that it's bad. Everybody, all the peer mentors here know that, like, my biggest weakness is like hot Cheetos and hot fries.
Yeah.
And they taste so good. They're so good. They're so spicy. But then like 45 minutes after eating them, I'm like, oh man, like I do not feel good right now. Like my stomach hurts. I kind of just want to like lay down because I'm so full. Because of course I ate the whole bag. I didn't just eat some of them. And so if that's what you're doing during studying, like if you're eating like really greasy, high fat, high sodium foods, like it's going to take effect on you, and it's just going to make your studying seem even longer. You're going to feel even sleepier. You might even quit early because you do end up with a stomach ache, or you feel like you're going to fall asleep or anything. But if you're eating really good, nutrient-rich food, that's going to wake you up, and it's going to help you stay focused.
Not only that, but I know that like if I eat a salad compared to a burger, the salad afterwards I can actually like continue doing homework and whatnot. After the burger, I just want to lay down and take a nap or something.
Yeah. You know that food wasn't maybe the best thing for you when, like, as soon as you're done eating, you immediately want to fall asleep. Your body's like, I just need to shut down and process what you just gave me right now.
Definitely. And then another thing, exercise helps. It kind of builds up adrenaline. It gets your heart pumping. It gets you ready to go. So definitely go hit the gym or something. Don't use it as a procrastination method, but if you have like an hour or two, maybe go for a run or something.
Yeah.
Wake yourself up.
Or if you are like in a rut with your studying, let's say you've been studying for like 3 hours already and you feel like your vision's blurry, you can't even read what's on the page, that's when it's good to go outside and take like maybe a 30-minute walk. Yeah, go outside. Or, you know, get on a treadmill or something. And just, like, take some time to, like, walk and clear your head. But if you're outside, get some fresh air. It's going to really revive you. If you're like me and, like, exercise is just the bane of your existence, like, I don't understand how people can actually, like, enjoy just, like, standing there, like, lifting weights. Like, that's not fun to me. And I just, like, it hurts, like, I'm sore, I don't want to do it. I'm cranky, yeah, it makes me crankier than before I started working out. So what I've started doing is the classes at the rec. Tonight I'm going to the yoga class, and that's something that I really enjoy. I've also done the kickboxing class there, which is really fun because you're, like, up and you're moving, and there's an entire group of people, and you kind of feel like you're in a flash mob because everybody's doing the same moves. It's really cool. They have a cycling class that I want to try, so you just have to find like what works for you. But if you feel like you're going to get distracted like in a cycling class, or like you can't keep up, maybe what you want to do is just go by yourself, plug your headphones in, and get on the weight machines.
What I like to do is, because the rec is pretty far from campus, and I don't like to get all sweaty and then have to take a shower, and like it just disrupts everything. I'll just go for a walk or something, or take, you know, a 5-10 minute break and just kind of relocate. And it gives me some fresh air and whatnot, and I don't have to take, you know, 2 hours out of my schedule to go work out, get ready, work out, get ready to go back to studying and all that stuff.
You definitely want to shower. I feel really gross after a workout. Like, I can't stay that way. But yeah, you can do what Diana does. Just pick up and move. Do lunges on the way. No, I'm kidding.
Or maybe
do lunges on the way while you're over there.
What I've noticed was, like, I'll be studying for a test, and then, like, the 30 minutes before the test, I'll just go outside in the paseo and just, you know, sit there and, you know.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Just breathe. Enjoy nature. Enjoy the weather.
Next tip is get some emotional help. Maybe even, like, not necessarily somebody who can alter your state or anything, but just somebody you can talk to. Find like that friend that you can just vent to, and like for me, I know that venting definitely helps me kind of relieve some of my stress.
I love complaining. People will tell you like don't complain, like it makes you be really negative, but for me, like that's venting, that's getting it off my chest.
And it's like that you're putting that negativity kind of like out of you, and it's not like you're holding it up and then it just gets out, you know, because somebody bumps into you and you're like, oh my gosh, that ruined my day. This way, it's like a healthy way to expel that negativity.
Yeah, you need to find that confidant, and that can be somebody in your friend, that can be somebody in your family, a coworker, a classmate that you're getting to know really well. But at the same time, don't be a Debbie Downer and don't just like only complain to this person, because you're putting that negativity out there, but you're like pushing it onto them. Then they're not going to want to talk to you because they're like, oh, here comes, you know, Diana again. All she ever does is like complain about like her test and like her mom, and oh man, it's too much.
It is.
If you want somebody that you could just go straight to and complain, that's where like counseling services comes in. They're there to hear you complain as much as you want, and not just complain, but talk about whatever it is that is stressing you out, and they'll come up with game plans with you for how to manage that stress, maybe some healthier choices for dealing with it. Big fans of counseling service here.
Yeah, they're amazing. Definitely go over there if it's something that's kind of starting to hinder your day-to-day life. Go over there and just talk to them. They have great ways to even become more independent in dealing with your stress, not necessarily depending on other people. And I know that there's a bunch of apps out there that kind of get you one-on-one with like various counseling services around the nation or something like that.
Yeah.
They're really great, and they're also specific to any form of, stress that, like, specific stress that you may be having or dealing with.
I know that there's a lot of websites out there that do, like, anonymous chats where you can just vent to somebody and somebody's on the other side of the screen listening, and they're going to type back responses that are going to encourage you and build you up. If still, like, you're really iffy about talking to somebody about all of this, like, try journaling or something that's just more internal with yourself, because sometimes just putting the pen to paper, that's another way of just, like, getting those emotions and those thoughts out, and it might even be able to help you, like, organize them in your own way, because as you're writing them, you're realizing, oh yeah, like, well, if I did this, then this would happen. So, journaling's always there. People have been doing it for forever, so it must be working somehow.
And then it's also a physical thing that you can actually rip up if you're, at that point where you're just really angry or something.
Yeah,
crumble it up.
Tear that page out of there and throw those emotions away.
Definitely. Don't give up on your passions, especially when you're stressed. Sometimes, like, I love to paint, and I can't find enough time in the day to paint, but sometimes when I'm super, super stressed, what I'll do is I'll just take an hour to myself, put in some headphones, and just paint. And it really helps, like, relieve some stress. So don't give up on your passions, especially if it's something that you already know you enjoy doing. Try using that as a stress reliever.
Yeah, so that's just, you got to do something that's just for your own enjoyment, because if your day is back to back to back, I have a meeting, I have class, I have an hour to study, then I have class again, then I have, like, a workout. Even if you enjoy your workout, that's still something that, like, you've scheduled in. So if you have, like, an hour of free time, do something, like, completely, like, unplanned, unscheduled, that you totally enjoy. If you, like, pick up a comic book and start reading it, or, like, if you're like Diana and you want to sit down and paint for a little bit, maybe you play an instrument and you just, like, want to play guitar for an hour straight and not have to think about anything else. Do something that is a pleasure to you. It's a treat. It's just going to make your day feel a little less bad than if it had just been, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, requirements that you had to do.
If you play the piano, I encourage you to play the pianos on campus. I love listening to them, so please.
Only play if they're good, though.
But yeah, no, just try to find these things and I know some people are like, well, my passion is my major and stuff, but try to find something that's separate from this daily routine that you're in, to kind of free your mind from it.
You need a brain break.
Yeah, because, like, I love, math and stuff, but sometimes I want to take a step back from solving problems all day to do something completely different.
Same. I'm an English major. I love reading. I love writing. Sometimes I don't want to read for fun or write for fun. Like, sometimes I want to, like, go for a bike ride or something. That's okay. Like, you can do that. You're allowed to be, like, a multi-dimensional person with multiple interests.
And you never know. Like, I was talking to one of my mentees last week, and she was telling me about how wonderful she has this hobby of hers, but it has nothing to do with her major. And I encouraged her to talk about this hobby, even in interviews and stuff. You never know where that's going to lead, because sometimes, some way, you can also tie in your hobby into a future career path or whatnot. Because, like, for example, my painting skills, as an engineer, you don't necessarily need to paint, but having that artistic skill, you can, design something that's more appealing to the user or whatnot. So you never know when it's going to come up, and definitely it makes you seem unique when you're talking about these stuff. So hobbies are great.
Yeah. Become less of a robot at that point, more of a person. So talking about, like, having that balance with, like, fun time with planned and scheduled time, is don't overload yourself. Like, if you do decide that, I want to sit down and paint for an hour, and you realize that you are booked absolutely Monday through Friday from, like, 8 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, you might want to sit back and think for a little bit about if that's actually a manageable schedule for you, if that's something you can handle. There is absolutely no shame in asking for, like, less hours at work if you're able to afford that, or dropping a class, especially before the census date. I know we're past the census date now, but if you feel absolutely overwhelmed and you cannot manage your schedule, it is totally fine to withdraw.
Two things to note. One, we are still before the withdrawal date, so that means you can still drop individual classes. You may not get a full refund, and it does appear as a W on your transcript. W as on your transcript. But it's perfectly fine. I mean, you'll never have, like, someone who looks at your transcript and just, like, looks at the W and doesn't even ask any questions. they'll ask like, oh, why did you drop this class? And you can say, oh, I was feeling overwhelmed, I was taking 19 hours or something like that.
Shows,
or even 12.
That shows responsibility on your part, because you're able to understand your limitations and what you're able to handle. That's something attractive to like employers.
Definitely.
They're not going to think poorly of you. It's not going to lessen your worth in their eyes. And of course, like, you're going to be healthier because of that decision.
But also remember to talk to your advisor, like we said before, to make sure that it's not affecting your graduation date and your plans for the future. Because you do have a couple of classes, and choosing which one to drop is really important in this long term.
Yeah, and then another good resource to use before you do get to that decision of whether you should drop a class or not is go talk to an academic coach at the TRC, because they can sit down with you, look at all your course schedules, and maybe they can say, you know what, yeah, like your classes keep scheduling tests on the same day, so you have 6 tests in one day, like, that's really crazy. But that happens with people's schedules sometimes. So sit down with an academic coach, have them look over your schedule, your syllabus, the requirements for the class, and they can design a schedule with you and give you advice on like how to better manage your classes and your coursework.
Or even talk to your professors. If there is like 3-4 tests, I've had 4 tests in a day before, and it's ridiculous. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. You can say that.
But sometimes you can talk to your professor, and I actually had one of my professors. Granted, several of the students in the class were in the same like predicament, but we got one of the professors was understanding enough, and he pushed the test back one day. Or like, one class day. So we weren't overwhelmed in just that day with like 4 tests. So even talk to your professors, and maybe even ask them like, how did you manage your stress? I mean, they were students once. They know.
Everybody forgets that. Your professors were students once too. Like, they've been in your position. They know what's going on.
So definitely talk to them. I mean, they obviously did well enough. They're professors here at UTSA, so they obviously passed through it, and so they can maybe help you overcome some of these problems and challenges.
Yeah, our next tip is something that personally I enjoy. So we talked a little bit about tense muscles and not feeling well, so solution for that, get a massage. So last semester was the first time I had gotten a massage ever in my life. I went somewhere off campus, and it spoiled me. Like, I woke up the next day and I was like, man, I could really go for a massage right now. So I've decided to do that like as a treat to myself. Like, once a semester, if I'm feeling really, really stressed, I'll, go get a massage. And it's honestly, like, if you haven't done it, like, you really should, just for the experience. I can't explain it. Like, you just come out of it feeling so relaxed and so, like, stress-free, and your mind is absolutely clear. Personally, like, I fell asleep in the middle of it, like, and because it felt so good. But you don't have to go off campus to get a massage. They actually do offer massage therapy here at the rec center. It's for a lower price than what you're going to pay if you go off campus, and they do it in increments of like 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and 90 minutes. So the 90-minute one is the longest. It's an hour and a half. So you're probably going to fall asleep. And during finals week, or around finals time, they'll have specials going on. So I love massages, and just do yourself a favor. Go get a massage.
Oh, I've never had a massage, so
10 out of 10 recommend.
Nice. Our next thing is just breathe. Sometimes when we get really stressed and stuff like that, taking a step and taking 5-10 minutes to just kind of breathe and just meditate or something kind of helps like clear your mind and helps clear some of that stress out. I like doing that before a test. Just like I said, I go out and just sit on the lawn and just breathe.
Just like get some peace. And of course, if you like want a little more tips on this, there are self-guided apps that you can download on your phone, like Stop, Breathe, Think, and those will have like little guided meditations, or like it'll tell you like take 10 deep breaths in, and then I don't know, like they come up with like their own breathing schedules or like little relaxation techniques for you. So those are always a good thing to try, and the best part is most of them are free, so you can just download them. Or YouTube.
Yeah, just look up a bunch of YouTube stuff, and they'll have like a really calm person like, just listen to my voice.
Yeah, just so soothing. I'm not one of those people. I don't have like a very relaxing voice, so I could never be one of those people. But the UC also does have guided meditation scheduled throughout the semester. If you're curious about that, look on the UC website, and what they do is they have somebody from counseling services come in. It's really nice. We actually went to one of them, some of the peer mentors, to kind of like try it out. so we can know what we're actually talking about when you tell you guys. And they'll put on like a really relaxing like background music. They'll have like some essential oils going, so like all of a sudden you smell like lavender and you're like, man, this is really nice. And you're just sitting there and like you have your eyes closed and like, you know, maybe somebody's talking in the background saying like, you know, think about your purpose for today, like let go of the things that are kind of holding you back from that purpose. And it's you come out of it with like such a clear mind and just feeling so good and so prepared to like tackle whatever challenge you have coming up.
That's cool. And then
that's cool. Anyway.
I know that the UC does like a meditation room.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty nice.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're guided meditation.
Oh, inside that meditation
Inside
room?
the meditation room, yeah.
Neat.
They have a schedule for when they go, so you got to look that up on the UC.
And then they just have the meditation room open all day, I think?
Yeah, I think the meditation room is open for student use, like whenever you want to.
And it's nice. It's kind of like dimly lit.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Painted a really nice, like light blue color.
I'm scared to go in there because I might fall asleep, but
it's okay.
And then lastly, there's financial stressors. Like we said, it's not just school that's going to be playing an effect on your stress. It's also your home life, your, you know, outside of school. You're more than just a student. So if you're taking on too much academic, or not necessarily academically, but like extracurriculars or work, if you can afford taking, you know, less time going to work and stuff, and don't be afraid to like voice the fact. Like I know a lot of my peers have said that like, oh, I was hired as a part-time, but I basically work like 35 hours a week. Don't be afraid to voice that and say, hey, you hired me as a part-time and I'm only supposed to be working X amount of hours and you're always booking me for more. I mean, voice it out. Like, that's what you were hired for.
Most employers are very understanding, especially if you tell them that you're a full or part-time student, and they will work with you. You like give them a copy of your schedule for what your classes are going to be like, and let them know like when test days are. So that way they know, like, okay, well, maybe not schedule them so many hours this week. I know they have a test, so they're probably going to want to study. Or if they don't make that assumption for themselves, you tell them that and tell them, I need some extra time this week to focus on school. And of course, like, if your employer is unwilling to work with you, it's not a good employer. Like, you should look into other options as well for maybe looking for a new job. I know that a big stress for me was I was working off campus and I lived across town, so like I would have to leave class and commute like an hour to get to my job, to work there, and then like have to drive like another 30 minutes home, and it was just a lot of commuting time. So for me, working on campus has really taken down that stress level, because I know that I'm not wasting like an hour and a half driving around trying to get to work and class and home. And that's time that I can use to study now. So if working on campus is a better option for you, there are work-study positions available. You'll see that come up in like your financial aid package at the beginning of the semester, or the beginning of the academic year. And there are positions on campus that are not work-study, like our jobs. These are just open for any student worker or any student that wants to work on campus, and you can apply. And of course, if you are a student employee here on campus, of course your like boss is going to be totally understanding that you're a student first.
Before, when I worked off campus, it was a lot of that whole I was hired as a part-time, but I worked way more hours than what a part-time should work, and so I quit and came to campus to find a job, not necessarily because of commuting, but because on campus you're only allowed to work 19 hours a week as a undergraduate student employee.
No overscheduling.
So nobody's going to put you to work more than 19 hours. And second of all, UTSA has a huge motto that you're a student first. And so your employer knows that motto and knows that you're going to be a student, and you're going to be the one that's kind of like coming in and saying, hey, I have a test this day. Please don't schedule me the day before and that day. I really need to focus on like classes and whatnot. And again, UTSA knows that you're a student, so they're not going to expect more out of you than just like what you can afford to give.
Yeah, and of course it's a tough truth, but we have to say it. Sometimes something's got to give. You know, like you have to live frugally as a student if you want to like kind of be well-rounded and be like doing well in your classes, but also be performing well at your job and having a social life. So sometimes something's got to give. If you get your paycheck, you can, you know, spend like $200 of it on like just shopping and going out and eating, or you can like put your bills first. That way, like at the end of the month, you're not living off of like $4 until the next payday comes. You know, balance your budget, spend wisely, and you know, sometimes let things go. Be like, yeah, you know, all my friends are going to a movie this Friday, but you know what? maybe I'll go see a movie next week once I get paid. It's okay.
And so just, you know, our biggest thing that we've been talking about all day, or all, you know, Mentor Monday, was the whole fact that you should realize your limits and know your limits, because if you try to exceed those limits, you're going to get overwhelmed, get stressed. That's like the #1 leading cause of stress.
Know your limits.
Yeah. And so like working within those limits really is going to be a huge stress reliever. And like we said lastly, with some things gotta give, maybe don't be involved in like 4 or 5 different student organizations. Try to limit yourself and go to like only 2 of them, or really commit to your job and work or whatnot. And so, I mean, we all ideally would like to have it all, but remember to put prioritize your day or whatnot, and say like, okay, I need to know that I'm doing well in school. That's my #1 priority. Then I need to feed myself. So
yeah,
financially,
be realistic with what you're doing.
And so, like something I like to do is whenever I feel overwhelmed, I kind of jot down. I'm like, okay, this is what my week looks like, and these are the hours I'm dedicating to everything. And then I'm like, okay, that's an unrealistic thing. I'm only going to be getting like 3 hours of sleep every night, and I need more than that. So sometimes just you have to analyze and make sure that you're working within those limits, and start cutting back on things that, you know, you can't do because you've reached that limit. But like we said at the beginning, stress management is a work in progress, and it's something that you have to continuously be working. It's not something like you complete it this week and you're like, okay, I'm set for life.
Yeah.
Because that's not.
Yeah, even if you do work out a system that works, know that that system isn't going to work next semester or the semester after that, because like we said, it changes, you know, semester by semester, sometimes even by month.
Yeah, like maybe this month it works, but next month all of a sudden you have projects and homeworks that you didn't know about, and now you have to change your system out.
Yeah, so stress management, you're not alone, we're all doing it, and we're all gonna get through this. Like, you're gonna get through it. Yeah, so, okay, that's the end of our little educational section. So
if
now,
you have any tips about stress management, put them in the comments.
Put them in the comments. We love to read what you guys post.
Whatnot. We'll talk about events.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and go straight into events. So write these down in your planners and schedules, that way you don't forget about them. But on February 13th at 7:30 p.m. there is an orchestra concert going on. So go out there.
Here on campus. Our very own UTSA orchestra.
Yeah, listen to what your runners have put together for a beautiful concert.
We also have February 7th, so what's that, like this Wednesday?
Yes.
We'll have the Veterans and Graduate Students Networking Mixer, and that's going to be, it's near La Cantera, so it's not on campus, but it's going to be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., and I don't know where you can find that information at.
I don't know.
Do we know where we can find the information about the Veterans and Graduate Student Mixer?
I do think you have to, like, RSVP for that? I'm not too sure.
It might be through RowdyLink.
Maybe.
Or the Career Center.
We'll get that information for you guys.
We'll put it on our social media, so definitely follow. Oh, visit the, it says right here, visit the Career Center for more information, the website.
There you go. Okay, so go to the Career Center if you are looking for more information at that Veterans event.
Yep, and then we have the kitchen demo, same day, and they're going to be doing loaded sweet potato fries, and that's going to be at the Rec. So it is on the career fair, and it's moved? Oh, it's on a Monday. Oh, so it was moved.
So they did move it. Okay, cool.
And then the STEM fair and basically the career fair is going to be this Thursday. In the morning from 8:30 to 11:30, it's going to be the STEM fair, so that's for all STEM majors. And then from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. it's going to be just all majors. This is a great way to go out, find internships, find jobs. Even if you don't feel like you have enough experience, go out there and see what they're, asking for, what type of experience they want.
Dress presentable, have a resume if you really get to talking with someone and want to drop it off. This is the first impression you're going to be making with these employers and organizations, so
RSVP
go out there.
Through the Career Center, the Career Edge I think it's called. And then Rowdy Gras is going to happen February 13th.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of information on that, But I've gone before, and Rowdy Girls is great. They have amazing food. They have really fun activities for students to do. They usually have like live music performing, so definitely great. We're going to try and get a group of mentors and mentees together to go. So follow us on social media, and we'll let you know like where we're going to be at that event.
Next is going to be the Valentine's Day potluck.
Here in the Pivot office.
And it's going to be February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day from 12 to 2 p.m. So of course, like, we're having some of the main dishes catered by a very well-loved restaurant here in San Antonio. It's Bill Miller's. And so we're just going to have people bring side dishes, bring drinks, bring desserts. We're going to have a photo booth for you guys to take really fun pictures at, sugar cookie decorating, make your own Valentine's cards. It's going to be great. It's going to be a blast. I'll be here, so you know that's true. So hopefully you guys will get to come by our office and say hello. Also going on this month for Pivot events is we have a study relay happening on February 28th from 1 to 9 p.m. in the JPL large study room. So if you went to a study relay last year, it's going to be the exact same thing. We're going to go reserve a study room for 8 hours, and we're going to take snacks, our Keurig coffee machine for you guys, and it's going to be fun. It's just going to be a good chance for you all to sit down in one space and like get a lot of studying done, especially because that's right around the time for midterms, so you can have projects and exams coming up, and they're usually some of our most successful events, honestly. We have a ton of people come through, and everybody says that they just get a ton of work done, and it's really needed. They're like, oh, if I didn't come to this, like, I would have never like done this studying at home.
Also into Mondays, that's going to be February 19th. We're going to have, we're going to be right back here
on this couch.
With some, not volunteers, guests from different resources around campus. We're having the health services, counseling services, leadership, student leadership association, and I believe tutoring services. They're all going to be here talking about their services and stuff that they can offer for students. So please tune in, again, same time, 12 p.m. to 1. And ask them your questions.
Yeah, look for our flyers around campus. We're definitely going to get those up, probably starting this week. So tell your friends.
Yes.
Tell your friends. Also happening in the office, the Pivot office for this month, is a food drive for the food pantry. So the Roadrunner Pantry here on campus is able to support students that maybe don't have a lot of food security while they're in college. You're able to take your student ID and go get they do have like limits on how much you can take, but you can get, I think it's like 5 food items and then some non-food items, and right now their stock is really low, so they're looking for donations of like pasta, cereal, feminine care products, toothpaste. So if you have any of those items or would like to donate them, feel free to bring them to the Pivot office. We have a donations box, and we're just going to try and get as much together as we can this month so that we can give them like a really big donation.
So all sorts of stuff happening. Definitely follow us on social media. Contact your mentor. They have all of this information. Is there another thing that?
Yeah, so it's a very busy month, I'm telling you. February is crazy. So February 19th through the 22nd, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., there is going to be a blood drive on campus. So go donate some blood if you're able to. And then also, in honor of National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, there's going to be free HIV testing here on campus. You can look for their van in the HEB Student Union parking lot, and they do syphilis testing on request, but you know, it's always good to know your status. That way you can like be informed about it and get more information on those things. And also, just like as a general rule, like Happy Black History Month, like yeah, there's tons of events going on campus. Actually, where's that paper I had about the I lost it. Oh, okay. We did get a flyer from another organization here on campus for a pizza and research thing. So if you go to this, you get free pizza, but it's also going to be a really great lecture. It's going to be a discussion exploring the historical context for the role of black athletes in contemporary social movement, like Taking the Knee and Black Lives Matter. So this is really relevant to what's going on, especially since like the Super Bowl just happened yesterday, and like, you know, the whole taking a knee thing has been really in the news about taking a knee during the national anthem. So this is going to be a really interesting event to go to. Hopefully I can make it, and of course if you go, you will get free pizza.
Aside from that, remember to follow us on social media. We definitely post about all of this stuff on there. Again, contact your mentor.
Yeah.
If you don't have a mentor, contact us on social media and we'll get you connected. Aside from that, leave us a like, tell your friends to subscribe. We hit 100.
Yeah, we did
talked
hit
about
100.
this, last time, but again, thank you so much for helping us hit 100.
Yeah, let's set a goal. Maybe by next season we'll get like 150 or something.
I like that goal.
For season 5.
Season 5, 50.
Season 550. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But as always, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for sticking with us through all these seasons. And keep listening to us because we have great advice. Just saying. But once again, I'm AJ.
I'm Diana.
And goodbye. Enjoy your week.
Thank you so much. See you next time.